All right, guys. Thanks for joining us for the Process to Purpose podcast. Again, I'm here with Jaime Bejar. Thank you for being here with us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
You're awesome, man. And he actually drove all the way over here to Norwalk, where I live. So we're doing this out of the Cedeño's residence. But I'm going to share something real quick. So, again, we're doing this to help inspire and motivate people to find their purpose through the process of spirituality, health, and wealth, using godly principles and values to break through to the life God has called them to live. All right, guys. So today's segment, again, it's Process to Purpose, and we're doing it on health. And my boy right here, Jaime, I just want you to really just introduce yourself. I know we've met in high school. When I think you were a senior, right?
Yeah.
So I was a freshman.
You were a freshman. I was a senior.
I remember when I got moved up to varsity. I remember seeing you, like, through your helmet, you had like the biggest eyes in the world, bro.
Get out of here. Really?
Yeah, bro. I remember that.
You're like, who's this guy?
Yeah. What number were you?
I think 66. Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I met him, and then he also did our taxes.
Yeah.
So he does taxes, by the way. So if you guys want to do taxes, and also I'm helping him buy a home right now. So we're going through that process right now, which is a lot of fun.
Yep.
Should be closing fairly soon.
Probably this week.
Hopefully this week. Yes. We're gonna get it done. It's almost there. We're just waiting for a couple of city things that need to happen. So, yeah, man. Go ahead and just introduce yourself. What do you do for a living? You know, who you are, where you're from.
So my name's Jaime, and like Robert said, I met him in high school, and we actually hadn't talked in probably since high school. I don't think I had even
in
seen
high
him.
school. Even in high school, we might have said a couple of things to each other.
So then just recently, maybe, I don't know, probably at the beginning of the year, I hit him up on Instagram. We were just chit chatting.
Yeah.
You know, catching up on things, and then that's when we just hit it off from there. We've just been talking since. So like he mentioned, I do taxes. I have my regular 9-to-5 job, but I have this tax business where I've been doing for 5+ years.
Nice.
At the same time, I also have a coffee business that I started. Well, I didn't start it. My partner, Adam Rodriguez, started it. He's the founder of Okairi Royale. If you guys go on my Instagram, you guys can find the link to go straight to that Instagram account. So I partnered up with him. So other than my regular 9-to-5 job, the whole fitness thing, my tax business, which is somewhat slower right now, gives me more time for other things. We also got Okairi Royale going on. So that's, we got a lot of things going, and that's good. You just got to, I kind of like keeping busy. I mean, it's crazy because back in the day, I wouldn't, that wasn't me. Like, I was always distracted, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to get away from everything else. And now, it's just good. Like, always having things going.
And you know what? And it's crazy that he's saying that he does all these things, right? And he still has a daughter. He's raising right now. He's married, so.
Yep. I'm married. My wife, Shirley. We have a daughter. She's, I think she's going to be 9 months this Wednesday. Yeah, 9 months.
Okay, there we go.
So, I mean, it's crazy. Like, we got a lot of things going on. And
awesome.
But it's all great. Everything's good.
Yeah, everything going. Again, guys, thank you guys for being on. If you guys can just, possibly share this with somebody. Again, this guy lost close to 100 pounds, and we're going to get into that. But, guys, on Facebook, tag someone on here, share this with somebody that's looking to get healthy, that's looking to get in shape, that's looking to get that to bring that sexy back, you know what I mean? And guys on Instagram, go look at Jaime's page, and same thing with people on Jaime's page. Come look on my page, and we're doing this so we can build a community, build a network of people who want to be better, who want to grow, who want to be lean machines. Because I'm trying to be like my boy Jaime. You guys go on my Instagram right now and you'll see his picture. You'll be like, nah, that's not the same dude. Right?
No, everybody tells me that. I still can't believe that to me every time I look at the pictures. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. So really quick, you have any wins for the week?
Any wins for the week? Well, hopefully we'll have a win at the end of the week, closing on a deal for a home.
Nice.
What else? That's all I can think of right now, but I'm sure there's plenty of other things. So there's always
but that's probably number one right now, because that's I know that's one of the biggest purchases of your life, and so I know it can be a little stressful, a little not stressful, because I think your wife keeps you pretty like grounded.
Yeah, I tend to, I get stressed pretty easily, and I overwhelm myself way more than I should. But yeah, she keeps me calm.
Yeah, she does. I've seen it in action, guys.
I know.
And I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but I am gonna put you on the spot. He'll like say like, oh, I don't, and then she'll come out of nowhere, bro, and she'll be like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
So they have that good balance.
Totally. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy how much we balance each other. Like, everything. I don't want to say way better than her in some areas, but I'm a lot better in certain areas, and she's a lot better than me in other areas.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because when it comes to finances or keeping budgets or money-related things, I've kind of been like that balance. When it comes to like stressing, enjoying life, which I don't feel like I do enough because I'm always like moving and like worrying about all these other things, she brings me back down. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, awesome, man. And same thing with my wife. She, you know, I have these dreams and these goals and all these things I want to do, right? And she's like, all right, Robert, bring it down. You just started your career. You're just going like, you can't be a billionaire in, you know, the next 5 days. So
that'd be nice, but then everybody would do it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So one of my wins for the week, we just got back from Lake Havasu, and that was a lot of fun. I got a nice little tan going on. I still haven't taken off my shirt, bro, so we're going to go with that right now because I'm not comfortable yet in my own skin because I've gotten really heavy, gotten down, gotten heavy.
Dude, that takes time. Like,
yeah,
it's really all in your head. Like, it really is somewhat of a mental issue because you probably wouldn't think, but I could easily take my shirt off now, but I still have a bit of glimpses in my head where I kind of don't want to. Like, I still feel hesitant when there should be no reason why I should. But it's just, I was big so big. I was big for so long that it's just embedded in you. Like, you forget sometimes.
And, you know, we've had that conversation before, I believe, where we're like, hey, is it, it's kind of like that fat guy mentality.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You know what it is? And even when, I think my wife is listening or not, but back when, you know, I had lost a lot of weight and I would get attention from girls when I was single, I didn't even know I was getting attention because I was like, no way, dude. Like, I'm still fat. You know what I mean? But I was like 190, pretty lean. So that's like a roadblock that we give ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that, but I want to get into the meat of your story, man. You have a really good story. If you can just share how much weight you lost, why did you decide to get in shape, lose the weight? We'll start with that.
Well, to start off, I've been big 90% of my life. Like, I think I always like to tell this to people because they always get shocked, but I weighed 120 pounds when I was 8 years old. 120. So I was always fat since I was a little kid. I don't know what happened. My mom just let me whatever I want, apparently.
She loved you.
Yeah, she likes to say that, actually. She tells me that. But, you know, I was always big. Middle school, high school, I played football. But then after my senior year in high school of football, I came to the conclusion that I wasn't going to play football anymore. Like, it's just not what I wanted to do anymore. Yeah. I loved it, but I just wasn't. I was like, okay, well, maybe I should drop the weight now, right? Like, I know a lot about training. Like, let me just drop the weight. So right after football season ended, I got on this crazy diet where I didn't know anything about calories back in the day, but I'm sure if I had to guess, I was probably eating 1,000 calories a day. Oh. Like, it was crazy. I can still remember the meals I was having. I don't know why I was doing it. I was training 2-3 times a day. I lost 30-40 pounds within like 2 months. So I got down to 190. I graduated high school, but then it started again, right? So I lost that weight not knowing anything about nutrition. I started working. I had money now. I was eating out. Within months, I was back to 230, right? So then after that, I've been lifting for the longest. And again, I was okay, I got to drop the weight again. I must have yo-yo dieted, which is probably not even a real term, but it's more of a slang term.
Can you explain that?
So yo-yo dieting is when you're really heavy, you get on a diet, you drop 20, 30, 40 pounds quick, and then you gain it back within months, and then you drop the weight again, and then you gain it again. So
sounds like my life, bro.
So I did that at least 3 to 5 times within like that 6-year period after high school.
Okay.
And I just couldn't keep it off, right? And I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And even after high school, like, I would still lift, but I felt like I was doing a lot of cardio and I was cutting back on a lot of my calories. And I did not know anything about nutrition. And what I should have done better is probably approach somebody who knew about nutrition, who can teach me calories and help me lose the weight properly. I think I'm sure I lost muscle in that whole process, dieting multiple times.
Yeah.
but I didn't know that then. Like, I don't know what I was doing wrong. And then maybe about 4 years ago, I committed to like learning. I started eating super healthy, but then I learned this thing called if it fits your macros, right? That's what I knew it as back in the day. So if it fits your macros is you can lose weight as long as it fits your calories or your macros, which are your proteins, fats, and diets. So I started tracking all that. I started eating super healthy, but I still didn't really truly know what it was going to take to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was probably about 2.5 to 3 years ago, I just dug deep into it, and I started reading all kinds of articles, doing all kinds of research, and really, really understood carbs, fats, fiber, what it takes for you to lose weight, and it's all calorie is king. Like, calorie is king. All diets work.
Yeah.
They do work. It's not that some diets are better for other people. Some are. I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to get into that. Like, some diets are better for other people depending on your health situation. But overall, you can lose weight on just about any diet. But calories are king. If you're overeating, you will not lose weight. You could get on a keto diet like Robert has, and you will not lose weight if you're eating too much.
Which I kind of been experiencing a little bit of that.
You can eat a high carb diet, a low fat diet, and you still won't lose weight if you're eating too much. Like,
yeah.
And I'm sure there's all kinds of other types of diets, right?
Yeah.
You will not lose weight if you're eating too much. It's really what it comes down to. So
let me ask you this: do you know what was the total amount of weight that you've lost so far? Do you have an idea?
Well, I think at the end of football in high school, I was about 230, got down to like 185. I must have gone down up to 230 and 200 3 to 5 times, like I mentioned. And I think the peak that I got to, which was probably the last time I ever got up, was at least 250. I remember seeing the scale at around 246, and I know for a fact I gained more weight after that, but I couldn't look at the scale anymore. And then maybe like months after that, I was like, okay, this is it. Like, I just need to start. I dropped some weight. Long story short, I got to my lowest this year and probably my leanest ever, thanks to Samuel, who was coaching me and guiding me this year, and I got down to 157.8. So that's close to 100. I'm more or less 100 pounds.
Yeah, about 95, 100 pounds or so.
Yeah.
And I think the key, what you said there right there, is a lot of people, like you said, that you didn't know what you were doing, and they say, hey, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna go full force, and they do. They end up going full force. They end up jumping in, and then they're doing it, and then they kind of relapse in a sense, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, this is too hard. I can't do it on my own. But I think the key, what you said there, is you reached out to somebody, and then you started just diving in, learning. What really inspired you, or what motivated you to actually make that decision, right? That choice.
Well, I think like most guys, I just wanted to have abs. Like, that's really what it was. In high school, like, I wanted to have abs. Like, I was fat my whole life. I never had abs, and I finally got them 2 years ago. And then I did it again this year. But after realizing it, and after achieving that, I was okay. Well, now what? Like, why am I still dieting, right? Like, what am I going to do? And I think it was just more of it's just a goal where I wanted to get bigger. I wanted to stay lean, but I wanted to be in more control of my body. I wanted to feel confident. Like, I was just not confident. Like, I've been shy my whole life. This is easily the most confident I've ever been. You can ask anybody in my family, my friends. Like, it was just, I just wasn't the most confident person. And I think doing that was like, I don't want to, my purpose, I guess. Like, I wanted to get to that point where I felt comfortable and I could be anywhere and do anything, talk to anybody.
Yeah, and you know what? And I can see it, right? Because I remember you were a quiet dude. You're almost like an introvert, right? You where you kind of just stood around. You're kind of on the side all the time.
Yeah.
You weren't with that loud person like me.
Yeah.
Because I've always been really, really loud for some reason. And but what? So I know you used to be that person, but what's your mindset like now?
It's totally different. I mean, I feel like I'm still growing every single day, and I know for a fact I'm going to continue going every single day. But just the fact that I've built that confidence, I feel like I can achieve more. And not
almost anything, right?
Almost anything. Like, and not just in health. Like, I feel like I've gotten to a point in my health, career, life, or goals where I can pretty much keep doing this, keep getting bigger, building muscle, staying lean subconsciously. Like, I don't really have to think about it now.
Mm-hmm.
And now because of that, I can put out all my focus in other areas of my life, you know?
That's good.
In business and maybe even spirituality. Like,
yeah,
my family, like, there's all kinds of other things that I can now focus on. And I'm pretty much forcing myself, not really forcing, like, just constantly learning all the time. Like,
yeah.
which is, I think because of the fact that I was so self-conscious about my body and just my confidence was not there. I was always worried about that, so I wasn't working on anything else. Nothing in high school or in college or nothing. Like, it just, I couldn't concentrate on that when my main priority was always, you know, to get healthy, to look good. And the fact that I've accomplished it now, I feel like I can do anything. Like,
yeah, right.
I 100% feel like I can do anything.
Yeah, man, and it's crazy because when I actually seen your picture or your profile, right, I was like, nah, this is not him. There's no way, bro. Like, there's no way this dude is this the same Bejar, or we used to know you as Bejar, right, in high school, that we knew, because I was like, bro, like, how did you do it? And it's even hard for me to believe that. I mean, I know they probably seen the picture that we post, or that we both post, and I had lost, you know, went from 267 to 192, so a total of around like 75 pounds. But I couldn't believe it myself, or like, you know, I wasn't able to maintain it because I still hadn't decided that I was that new person. Yeah. So it seems like you've decided already. Hey, this is who I am. Not only am I not gonna go, you know, back to being that fat person, or, you know, fat person sounds kind of mean, but I mean, that's how you felt, right? Yeah. You felt like you know, I'm this big person. I don't have that confidence. So now that you're able to maintain and sustain that weight, you're able to do that with other things as well. With, you know, like you said, you know, your family, raising your daughter, buying a home, like that. I'm sure all that stuff is like out of your comfort zone, right? Yeah. When you're gonna have a baby, where you're like, hey, I'm gonna prepare this and this, or where you kind of just you did it and then you figured out the rest later, right?
Well, I think I kind of tend to prepare a little bit more than I should sometimes. I do. Yeah. So, just like in anything, like, I like to know where I'm heading. Like, why am I gonna do this? But that's not always a good thing. It's only a good thing if you actually take action on it. Yeah, for sure. So, like, that was like one of my main issues. Like, for example, like, back to the health thing. Like, I learned how to do everything, but I wasn't actually doing it, right? Mm-hmm. Because the weekends would come and
that's good.
Hell would break loose. Like, like you just couldn't sustain it, and you can diet, and your diet could be on point for 5 days.
Hold on. One second. We're back on.
Your diet could be on point for 5 days, but then very easily in one day, you can screw it all up.
Who has that problem?
Which is, it's not necessarily bad, right? Life happens. Like, sometimes it's your anniversary or your birthday or a friend's thing, something. It's totally fine.
And you know what's funny? Actually, talking about this right now, I went to Lake Havasu this weekend, bro, and I must have came back like 5 or 6 pounds heavier. So I just want to tell you so you can scold me later, and then we can talk about how we're gonna bring it back down. But go ahead, continue. Sorry.
So when that happens, like, you need to be okay with it. Like, I still kind of have an issue with that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, where I'll end up, I actually haven't binged in a long time. Like, I'll purposely eat a lot, but I'm doing it purposefully, which is what I'm trying different, right? So it's basically comes down to the relationship you have with food, right? So years ago, like, my diet would be on point, 5 days, weekend would come, screw it all up, binge. Then Monday would come again, crazy cardio, crazy weight training, diet on point, low calories, and then binge again. And it was just an ongoing and going cycle. And when it comes to that point, that's when you probably need to take a step back and, like, really see, like, okay, what's causing you to get there? Like, why is it? Like, if it's a party, if it's a, like I mentioned earlier, if it's an anniversary or your birthday, that's totally fine. Like, once is not going to help you. Yeah, you'll take a step back, but you could take 10 steps forward after that.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as you're not doing it every week, then that's,
Yeah, no, I think that's my biggest problem right now. Because I mean, as you guys know, and that's probably one of the reasons that we started really communicating with each other was I'm on this mission right now to get down to 190, right? So from 253 to 190, and I'm sure you guys all seen the hashtag Road to 190. And that's what I struggle with the most right now, man, is I have this, like you said, kind of this bad relationship with food, where I can't, like, if I have one bad day, or one bad moment, right? I have one bad moment where I'm like, I'm going to eat this. It turns into a whole bad day. Like, that one choice, right, to eat, say it was a Snickers or whatever the case is. Ice cream, I really like ice cream, but that just changes everything for me, man. So, why do you think people fail? Why do people go down that route? Sorry.
Well, for example, back in the day when I was going through that phase, I was this was pretty dumb. I don't know why I did this, but it's just, I guess it just depends on the state of mind that you were in. So I'd be dieting. I'd binge one day. No, I wouldn't binge. Say I'd eat out and I'm like, oh, I messed up my diet. Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to eat out the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. Or I'll start Monday. Like,
oh, no, man. Like, when you start doing that, you start triggering something in your head that basically says, oh, as soon as I mess up, like, that's it, it's over, you're done with. No, you're not. It's not over. Like, fine, you had your burger. Fine, you had this. Like, just stop right there.
Yeah.
And then just continue. Like, don't feel bad for yourself, because it happens. 2, don't go out and then just all of a sudden just keep binging the rest of the day. Like, it's not going to benefit you.
Yeah, for sure.
If you could learn to stop, because that's usually what it comes down to, like, controlling your appetite, not really controlling your appetite, knowing when to stop and not going overboard, is why people keep going through that. And then it also has a lot to do with when you first start dieting and you haven't dieted ever or in a very long time. It's so hard to build what do you want to call it, discipline to not eat, right? To not eat certain things, or to not overeat certain things. So I think the one thing that somebody could do is don't put yourself in that situation, right?
Yeah.
Say, for example, drugs, right? Say you don't think you should be doing drugs, your friends do drugs. Well, maybe you should be hanging out with those friends.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Because most likely you're going to end up doing drugs, or most likely you're going to drink. It's the same thing, right?
It's like, I don't want to smoke weed, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'll just hang out with you guys. Go ahead.
Right? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you that if your friends are going to go out to eat, or your family's going to go out to eat, that you shouldn't go hang out with them. You should, but there's going to be a point at the very beginning where you can... It's self-control. Self-control, that's what I was looking for earlier. It's just not where it should be. And it's super difficult, and there's no reason to torture yourself and go through that. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, or even a month for you to finally get to that point where you're 100% confident that you're going to stick to the diet, that you're going to do certain things. Like right now, I feel super confident that I'm not going to mess up. Like, nowhere near at all. Well, you asked me this a year ago, I wouldn't be so sure if I could say no to that donut, right?
So it takes time.
It takes time. Like,
what can you maybe tell them and let them know, like, hey, this is what I do when I get to that point where I'm walking up to the counter and I see the donuts, or I see the candy, and then I see, the salary. I don't know, what do you tell yourself, or what's a trigger that you let yourself know, like, hey,
a lot of the times when we start wanting certain foods, or we're gonna go over in calories, right? Usually there's something that we're missing, right? So, like, physically, like, we probably need something. If you've been dieting for certain days, right? So sometimes you're probably just thirsty. I've realized many times, and my wife tells me that all the time. Like, are you sure you're hungry? Like, and then I drink, and like, okay, yeah. Like, I'm still not even 100% there. Like, I feel super confident, but something you've had for 20 years, like, it's just not gonna go away like that.
Because it's really easy to get up.
When you're at that point, like, you just kind of take a step back, breathe, and really, listen to yourself. Like, okay, what do I need? Like, have I drank enough water? Okay, let me drink some water. Okay, have I got enough sleep? Like, oh, that's probably what it is. When you don't sleep, you get hungry. Your cravings are up because you don't have your natural energy from sleeping, right? From recovering. So you need it from elsewhere. So dieting and not sleeping is super difficult. So...
And you work a lot, bro. So.
I know. So that was probably another one of my main struggles, why it took me probably longer than it should have, because...
You don't sleep?
I love to sleep, but sometimes I feel like there's not enough time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would, I sleep less than I should, but you just need to step back and like really listen to like what is it that you need. And sometimes you really do it and just need food. It's natural. You've been dieting, like that's what you need. You need to find distractions. You need to literally distract yourself. Like that's what it comes down to. Like there's no way you're not gonna feel hungry when dieting. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. Sure. Like
for sure,
100% sure.
Because you're cutting the calories, right?
You're cutting the calories. Eventually, you're gonna get to the point where you just can't take it anymore. Like you need the food and you need to distract yourself. And I don't want to say it's all on your mind because it's not. It's both. But you could distract yourself. You just have to find something.
And you do feel better when you actually like say it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a snack, right? A midnight snack, right? And if you do that, you wake up in the morning, and if you go to the gym in the morning, whatever the case is, you feel it. You feel like kind of full still. And then when you don't do that, and you kind of said, okay, I'm gonna drink some water instead. Yeah. You wake up and you feel super lean. I get that all the time. And my wife will come up to me and she'll see me walk to the fridge. I do this all the time. I walk up to the fridge, bro, and I'll open it and I look in it and she's like, "Are you hungry?" I'm like, I think, no, I'm not hungry. I don't know why I even came to the fridge because it's a habit, right?
It's crazy. Speaking of habit, how crazy your mind is triggered to certain things. Mm-hmm. So when I used to live with my parents, I had this tendency of opening all the cabinets every single time I would come home from school, come home from work, come home from partying at night or whatever. I would open every single cabinet. I would open every single fridge, and sometimes I would eat. Other times I wouldn't. Right?
Yeah.
I get married. I leave. A year later, I don't do this anymore. I get to my parents' house. The first thing I do, before even saying hi to anybody, I open the damn cabinets. I go weeks without going to my parents' house. The first thing I do is open the cabinets.
Oh my God.
And at that moment, I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Like, bro, that's so crazy how things get triggered in your head after doing it for so long. And which is why it makes it sometimes even more difficult to lose weight. Like, you have to... Like, that's when I say take a step back and try and find all those cues, all those things that you do, and ask yourself, why do you do them?
It's funny that you say that, bro, because I do the same exact thing. I kid you not. I go to my mom's house, right, my parents' house. I open up the fridge. I open up the little tray where, like, the cheese is at, because I love cheese. And I'm on keto, so, like, nothing in the fridge I can really eat because they have a bunch of good stuff. You know what I mean? I open up the freezer. Every single time, even though I know they're not going to have anything good for me or anything really good at all in the freezer because mostly like frozen meats and stuff like that, Fridge, cabinet, freezer. And then I go to the pantry. What the heck, bro? And then I have to remind myself after I do all that I have to get a drink of water, right? Yeah. So that's so funny that you said that because right when you're saying that, I just thought about it. Fridge, cabinet, freezer. Yeah. Every single time. Well, that's actually really good. Are you guys getting a lot of good stuff from this, guys? Because I know I am. I'm gonna actually listen to this again, and actually take some notes. But before we get there, and I'm sure you've already shared a lot of these. But what are maybe 3 tips that can get people actually going? Like what's probably the most important things to get that jump start into being fit or healthy or wherever their goals may be, right? Because everybody's goals are different.
So I think probably the most important thing is just like in anything in life, is taking action. Like just do it. It's so hard to sometimes just do it. You say, oh, okay, I want to read 20 books this year. A week goes by, 2 weeks go by. You're never gonna read the damn book if you don't pick up the book, right? Just take action. Just pick up the book. Just open it. Read one page, right? Same thing for the gym. You want to start hitting the gym, but you don't go to the gym. A day goes by. A week goes by. Okay, I'm going to go 2 hours. You go 2 hours, but then the next day you don't go. You don't go, right?
Sore or you overdid it.
For whatever. Most likely you overdid it, right? Yeah. So people end up failing. So after you start taking action, the second thing is building that discipline and building that consistency.
Yeah.
So just like in anything in life, you have to be consistent, right? Say, for example, you want to start going to the gym 5 times a week, right? But then one day you decide, okay, I'm going to go for 2 hours a day. You go 2 hours, you're beat up the next day. You're like, okay, maybe I'll take a day off today. I went yesterday. The next day comes. Remember, you have not gone in weeks and months, maybe years. You don't have consistency, right?
Yeah.
It's only one time. You will very easily go back to not going, right? So the easiest way to build consistency in anything is to do it repetitively every single day, right?
Yeah, little by
so
little,
you don't
right?
want to go 2 hours every day, right? If you're going to start off, the best way to probably start would be, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 20 minutes a day. I'm going to walk on the treadmill 10 minutes, and I'm going to bike 10 minutes. That's fine. The next day, I'm going to go 20 minutes again. I'm going to just work on legs. Okay, I'm going to go 20 minutes again, right? 20 minutes is easy. You can easily do, let's say, 10, 15 minutes, right? What you're doing right there is building consistency.
Yeah.
You're building discipline to get in your car, drive to the gym, and work out. Do that. It takes, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think it takes 60 days to build some type of consistency or discipline in anything, right?
Yeah.
You have to do it 60 straight days. Now, if you do the 2-hour thing and then you take a couple of days off, it's going to take you forever to get there.
Yeah.
It'll be much easier if you just go 20 minutes. And you could probably go 7 days a week because 20 minutes is very easily, anybody can easily do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually get to the point where you can prolong your workouts. You'll want to go. You'll make it a habit.
Yeah,
It'll then become a habit where you have to go to the gym, where you, without even thinking about it, go to the gym, right? Once you get to that point, then you can start better building a program for your week where you go 5 times a week, 4 times a week. But it'll be easier to miss a day or two because you already have that habit. Like, it's automatic. Like,
Yeah.
you get what I mean? So it's the same thing goes with food, right? So you're not going to go out and all of a sudden, you know, if you eat what your average person eats, right? You eat random things every single day, depending whatever you want to eat.
Me.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is fine. But you cannot go drastic from eating like that to all of a sudden eating clean the next day and eating vegetables and eating rice and only chicken and potatoes every single day, 5 times a day for 3 months. It's not going to happen.
You'll get sick of it.
Is it possible? It's very possible. Many people do it. Professional bodybuilders do it. Professional fitness people do it. Everybody, you could do it. It's possible. But it is so difficult to do when you have never done it. Right?
Yeah.
You can't go from one drastic to the other. Just like in anything in life. Like, you just can't. It takes time. It takes consistency. And you just got to switch it day by day. How about you start off and say, okay, one day I'm going to take one meal where I just have my vegetables, a little bit of rice and chicken. I'll prep 1 meal a day. Okay, now you just do that for a week. Then you start prepping 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
And then three meals a day. And they're like, okay, you know, this is becoming easy. It's becoming a habit. I could put my food together every single day. And now I should probably learn about calories, right? How much should I be eating? Am I eating too much? And then the fact that you're already there, you can then start changing and modifying your food. And you don't have to eat rice and chicken and broccoli every day. Or, you know, tilapia and potato. Like, you don't have to. Like, you can eat from all types of foods as long as you're not overeating. You know, but of course, having all your micronutrients and all your vitamins, your nutrients. But you can't go from one drastic to the other. So, like, take action, build consistency, make a habit.
Yeah.
You know,
that's good.
You put those
Write
3
that down.
things in anything. Not just in, like, losing weight, in
for
anything.
Sure. For sure.
And you could do it. Like,
I kind of think about, like, you know, when people run marathons, right? So a lot of people who they're like, I'm gonna go run a marathon, and then so the marathon's tomorrow, let's say, right? And they go run the marathon. They're probably not gonna finish, right? Or, you know, there's something really bad's gonna happen. But if they're a couple of months out, say a year from the marathon, and you know what, I'm gonna start today, and they go walk around the block, right?
yeah.
And then, you know, after a couple of weeks, they start jogging around the block.
Yep.
And then after that, they're able to get up to 1 mile. And then they're able to get up to 3 miles.
Yeah.
And, you know, next thing you know, months down the line, they're able to get to that 8 to 10 mile range. So that's the type of consistency he's talking about and building that habit. You can't just go out there and just throw it all out there, because I've done it. And it doesn't help. I mean, just as you guys know, I don't know if you want to fix that right there. Just like you guys know, for me, I've been saying that I'm gonna, you know, like I said, 190, right? At the beginning of the year, I was 251. By February, I was at 253. So that's almost like a month and a half of just time wasted because I hadn't really decided. Yeah. And then, you know, I want to say in May, I had got down to 228, and right now I'm about 233, right? But I had to be consistent about it. I had to keep, like, deciding every single day and letting myself know, hey, no matter how many times I fail or how many, like you said, take those steps back, no matter how many times I know that I can make it up, right? Not in a sense now we're like, oh, I'm going to make it up every single time. No, but like, hey, I fell off track. I'm going to get back on the wagon. Yeah. I'm going to keep pushing. Because I think that's where a lot of people fail. Is like, well, I've been working out for 6 weeks and I can't really tell, or I've been working out for 2 days and I can't really tell, so let me just stop, right? But if you continue for those 3-6 months, and then you start really noticing the difference.
Yeah.
And then that's when you start getting excited about it. You start saying, hey, I really like this. So I think that's kind of where I'm at right now. I know I'm kind of plateauing at 230 right now, so I'm gonna have to listen to this again so I can get down to the one. I still got 40 pounds to go, man. So really quick, I know because you basically the way you're doing it is you count your calories, right? Mm-hmm. Without getting too much into detail, what's a tool that you use to count your calories? And because if you guys do have those type of questions, I'm pretty sure it's a really long answer, but they can reach out to you, right, and ask you questions.
If you guys have any questions, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram, and I'll help you out. You know, if you guys need guidance, I'll gladly give it. But the simplest way and the easiest way to start, there's a couple other apps out there and a couple other sources online, but probably the one I always tell people is download the app MyFitnessPal. So MyFitnessPal, it'll ask you for your age, it'll ask you for your weight, how much weight you're trying to lose, and it gives you a suggestion of how many calories to eat, right? But keep in mind, MyFitnessPal doesn't really know your real activity, right? There's just no way it's going to know it. So whatever it gives you, you don't necessarily have to go off that amount. You can actually adjust it, and you give yourself the amount of calories that you want to have.
Okay.
So the easiest way to start is download the app, set yourself up for a certain amount of calories, right? Weigh yourself every single day. I know you guys hear this all the time. They say, oh, don't weigh yourself. You're going to get scared or you're going to get disappointed. And no, weigh yourself every single day. Weigh yourself every single day. Get an average for the week, right? Say you tell yourself, I'm going to eat 2,200 calories every day, right? Mm-hmm. And then your average weigh-in for that week is 150 pounds, right? The next week, you're like, I'm going to eat 2,200 again. Exactly the same thing every single day. But now your average is 149.5. You're like, oh, I lost half a pound. And I ate the same thing. Well, maybe if you drop your calories a little bit, that half a pound will become a pound, right? But nothing drastic. You know, maybe 50 calories less, 100 calories less. Kind of depends on the person, their activity level. Like if they're already, weightlifting or how much cardio they're doing, how active you're on your work. So it's not just, drop 50 calories. Like it kind of depends, but more or less, like that's a good start if you truly just want to go off on your own. And the same, and it goes backwards too. Say you do the 2,200 calories, but your weight doesn't change. Okay, then that's probably your maintenance level calories, which means you can eat that every single day and you will not lose weight and you will not gain weight, right? Got it. But then there's the other third one that what if you actually gain weight? Then maybe you're eating too much, maybe your body doesn't eat that much, or you need to be more active. That's what it also comes down to. So the more active you are, the more food you can eat. Is what I always tell myself. Nice.
I'm going to start door knocking again a lot. That's how I lost the weight for the first time, man. Cause I was door knocking every single day, but that's really good because I actually have the app downloaded and I don't use it. And that's the first thing I asked this dude. I was like, what weight? Well, I mean, what are you doing, bro? Like, and he's like, count your calories. I'm like, but I don't want to count myself.
I know, but it's hard. It's hard because you get to a point where you're like, do I really want to count my calories for the rest of my life? Like, a lot of people don't want to do that. And so many people have told me, like, there's no way. Like, why would I do that? And you have to, at the beginning, kind of just look at it as a tool to help you get started, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, you just learn to analyze what you're actually eating, become in tune with yourself, really listen to your body when you're full. If you learn to do all those things while counting calories, you'll very easily be able to, when you're done, stop counting and then maintain your weight and just keep intuitively eating, which is what your normal person does, right? Not counting calories. Intuitive eating means you eat and you stop when you're full, right?
I don't have that.
I know. I didn't either for a long time.
I don't have any intuitive eating, nothing.
But you can start off, counting and then eventually slowly get off of it. Like, you don't have to use it for the rest of your life. I'm probably going to use it just because I'm a numbers guy and I just like seeing how much I eat. I know it's weird, but
no, and that's good because I think it helps you stay accountable, right?
Yeah.
And kind of like you said, weighing yourself out every day. How about you even start telling somebody, hey, I jump on the scale every day. This is how much I'm averaging, and hey, you know, if I'm telling Jaime how much I'm averaging each week, and Jaime could be like, well, maybe you're eating too much, right? So, you know, write it down, then go tell somebody. Have someone hold you accountable. Your wife, maybe not your wife, because they're already telling you to do a lot of things anyway. So maybe a friend of the same sex, right? So they can
That's a good one,
yeah. So they can hold you accountable. So I'm gonna just start sending Jaime all my results. Just kidding, bro.
Yeah, you could. Let's do it.
I got too many things to worry about, right?
I could do it. I got time. There's always time.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell myself. There's always time.
So if you guys have any questions about, you know, counting calories or kind of just how he got started and you want to dive a little bit deeper, or you want to get your taxes done, reach out to Jaime. But
or you want to buy some coffee?
There you go. Hey, man, we're going to get this coffee thing. Bro, you look so much leaner. Am I? Because I just look so much bigger than you, bro.
I feel small. I feel like I look like a little kid.
Maybe it's like the angle. Well, yeah.
Yeah, let's just say it's the angle.
Yeah, dude's wearing like medium shirts, bro. You look he's so lean. But anyways, we're gonna go. We are a little over time because you just been throwing all these gold nuggets out, man. What are some quick myths and some facts?
You get fat when you eat carbs. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. That is not true. Have you guys ever said, I'm sure most of you guys, because I heard it my whole life growing up, like, oh, don't eat no more because it's too late. You're going to gain weight. That's not true. If you're eating the proper amount of calories your body needs, right? Everybody needs different amount of calories.
Yeah.
You will not gain weight.
Yeah.
Like, you will not gain weight. Like, what if you don't eat all day, right? You're busy, or you just like having one big meal and you eat at night. Trust me, you will not gain weight if you're not overeating. So eating carbs after 9 o'clock is just a myth. That's not true.
Nice.
You can eat whenever you want and you will not gain weight if you don't overeat.
Yeah. I know you shared another one with me because I had posted something about lifting heavy weight.
Oh, yeah. So I used to think this too. People tend to believe that when you're trying to lose weight, you have to do more repetitions, right? So you think the more repetitions you do, the more fat you're going to burn. No, not really. So you're going to lose weight if you're in a calorie deficit. If you're supposed to eat 2,000 calories and you're going to lose weight at those amount of calories, and you're lifting 5 times a week and doing minimal cardio and you're losing weight, you will continue to lose weight if you're lifting those 5 times a week and lifting heavy.
Nice.
If you lift heavy, you lift light, you will still lose weight. It does not matter. It's a whole different other ballgame if you want to change your type of training, right, and work more and hitting volume. That's like a whole other different topic, but that's not true. You don't have to lift light. You don't have to lift a lot of repetitions. You will still lose weight as long as you're exerting enough energy from when you're taking in.
Yeah, because I mean, I personally love lifting heavy weight, like, well, heavy in a sense, because I don't ego lift anymore because I used to do that a lot. But I have a lot of injuries because of football and sports in general. So I don't ego lift anymore. But something that's heavy for me now, I love doing it. I love lifting heavy. So I remember posting like, man, I think I can't cut because I'm lifting too heavy. And this guy's like, nope, you're wrong. I was like, oh, all right. Cool little slap on the face. But man, thanks for sharing all this information, man. I really, really hope you guys are taking notes and writing stuff down because it's a lot of good stuff, man. And you know he knows what he's talking about because the results are there. Like, you can't even, it's not like, hey, I'm a millionaire, I've done this, right? Like, all right, let me look at your bank account. And then you look at the bank account and it's not there, right? But no, this dude's like, if he said like, I got lean or, you know, I got in shape because of this, you look at the picture, yeah, the dude used to be big and now he's super lean. So the results are there, right?
Yep.
So thank you for sharing everything. I'm going to just ask you some quick questions, super rapid fire, kind of top of my head. What's the most inspiring book you've ever read?
Most inspiring. Well, you know, I don't want to say inspiring, but the best book is
probably the best book. Let's go.
How to Win Friends and Influence People. That when I read that book, that was super crazy.
Nice.
I wish I would have. I think everybody should have that book. If everybody treats everybody the way that book says it, then we all be golden. We'd all be golden.
Nice, man. Because I actually bought that book for my aunt, and I never bought it for myself.
You should buy it.
No, so now writing notes. That book. All right, and really quick, if you can go back in time, and I think I stole these questions from another podcast, but they're really good. if you could go back in time, you can't change anything. What would you tell your younger self, and at what age?
To change things, or to
no,
not
to. You can't change anything that's happened, but you just give yourself some advice that you're gonna be like, hey, you're gonna go through this or whatever the case is.
Just learn and suck and ask questions from as many people as possible. I think I was so scared when I was young asking because I was so shy that it held me back from so many things, because you can't get ahead unless you learn, and you can. The fastest way to learn is learning from other people.
Yeah, they've
right?
already done
like, it. They've already done it. Like, what? Yes, it's good. I don't necessarily 100%.
All right, we're back on. Man, that was really good. I hope we got that, because that was actually really, really good. That's another good nugget, man. Now, really quick, favorite movie of all time?
You know, I haven't seen movies, and like, I've only seen one movie this year, and I used to be like a huge movie guy, so I can't really think about movies right now. But for some reason, the only one that always sticks in my head is either Watchmen or Inception.
Oh, Inception's good.
I don't know why. It's just like, it's just crazy to me. But
Inception is super trippy. It's kind of like, you know what trips me out too is Avatar.
Avatar? I don't really care for it.
No?
It was cool when it came out, but it's been 8 years and they still can't come up with part 2.
I know, bro. Well, hey, man, I truly appreciate you. Again, guys, share this with somebody. Tag somebody in it. Share the actual post on Facebook, or tag somebody on our page on Instagram. What's your handle on Instagram?
It's Jaime.Bejar. So it's JAIME.BEJAR.
And just Jaime Bejar on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And then for you guys on Jaime's Instagram, I don't know if it's still on or not, but
it ended already.
You're good. So guys, again, thank you guys for joining us. Again, this is the Process to Purpose podcast, and I hope you guys have a super blessed evening. I hope this helped you out. You didn't have to do this, so thank you for being on. I know you don't do it. I'm not paying you. So I bought him lunch. How about that, right?
I'll take lunch.
Yeah, right. So, but he's really doing this because he cares for people, and he's been there. He's been in that situation where he felt like, hey, maybe I can't do it. But guess what, guys? You guys can. You guys can accomplish. You guys can be healthy. You guys can accomplish your goals. Be wealthy. Be strong in your faith. Whatever the case is, you can do it. And that's what we're trying to convey. That's why we do it, because we love you guys. We want to give back. And we want to inspire and just motivate more people to meet their goals and aspirations, right? So I think we're gonna wrap this one up, man.
Cool.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue.
I guess blue.
All right, we'll put a nice little blue bow.
I'm starting to like red. I don't know, but
red. My color right now is orange, bro.
What?
Orange, yeah. Orange.
Why?
You haven't seen all my Instagram stuff, bro? Orange.
No, I haven't noticed.
Everything. Subconsciously, you know, though. All right, that's another story. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining.